Our next guest is kind of a big deal. I mean, he has his own stage here at the Home and Garden Show.
Do we need to let him know that? He's sitting right there.
I think we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be going to
and
his
I don't
head.
even know if we need to say he's kind of a big deal. He is a big deal.
Huge deal.
Doug Oster, this right now you're seeing him on the Green Thumb stage where he's packing them in for his Everybody Gardens show and also free seed giveaway. And Doug, you're also answering garden questions, so it has to have been a pretty busy week for you so far.
I've had so much fun. One of the best things about what I do is seeing the people in person and helping them.
Right.
You know, whether it's a young couple or somebody who's retired and you know, wants to really get back into gardening. It's just so much fun to help them and talking to the people.
I think it's interesting also just to bring this up. Over the weekend, only one of us came and saw you while you're on stage.
I did see you around.
Right, yeah.
It was
I was
nice,
just saying,
but
okay,
she was here for moral support. You know, I heard from her.
You're throwing me under the bus.
Again.
It's like an imaginary bus you just threw me under. Just kidding.
But you know, I'm talking about my favorite plants, but I'm also talking about how to make them thrive.
That's a big thing.
And
yeah.
so it's not that hard. You know, it's about improving the soil, and it's about using something called compost. You know, whenever we're on together, I'm always talking about compost. That compost gives the plants everything they need. When they have everything they need, they're going to outgrow just about any pest or disease. And so that's the first message when I'm talking on stage.
And talk about your free seed giveaway, because that has to be pretty cool.
Everybody that comes gets a packet of these chocolate striped seeds.
I heard
it's
you
a
talk
tomato.
about this before.
It's an heirloom tomato that I've grown for years that I love, and it's kind of a deep red with these kind of brown stripes. And I know you're looking at me like that's a leap of faith to eat a striped tomato, but I mean I'm serving like kids from the neighborhood.
Right.
White tomatoes, orange tomatoes, striped tomatoes, and
That's
once they get past that, it has to be a red round tomato. It's like tomatoes are like wine. Each one has a different flavor and fragrance. It's just wonderful.
So do these taste like chocolate?
Not at all.
Oh.
They taste like a really tasty
Spots
tomato.
of the stripe, right?
Right.
They're
Well, I was
chocolate
thinking
colored.
if it tastes like chocolate,
Hey,
I
like where you're
will
going there, though.
definitely eat that tomato.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Very cool.
Tell us a little bit about, I mean, we're starting to get into the, you know, hopefully it'll warm up pretty soon at least. What should people be thinking about with their gardens? Where should they be at, really?
Well, that's the other thing I'm talking about is like it's too early to turn your soil over.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old adage, if you get in there and that dirt sticks to the shovel, it's too wet to work. And so if it is too wet, you don't want to turn it over because you're going to make these big clumps that are going to persist for the entire year. Wait until things dry out. If you're really excited to plant, again, we take our compost, we put it on top, and then we can throw seeds in that. We're not digging. And so just don't get it going too early.
So with your show, what are some of your favorite plants that you've been talking about?
Number one is this tomato with a great story. It's called Radiator Charlie's Mortgage Lifter Tomato. So
That is a
Radiator
name.
Charlie had this radiator shop in the 1930s at the bottom of a mountain in West Virginia. When those old trucks would go up to the top of the mountain and they'd overheat, they'd roll back down, and Radiator Charlie, the entrepreneur, would fix them up. Well, without any plant breeding experience, he took his 4 favorite tomatoes and made a plant that he could sell for $1 a piece and raise $6,000 and paid off the mortgage on the house.
wow.
This is a big, old-fashioned, meaty tomato with a very simple recipe when you have one like that. You cut one slice, get 2 pieces of white bread, some mayonnaise, some salt, put it together, and go to heaven.
That's awesome.
It's just absolutely wonderful.
And I love the story behind it. When I saw the name, I was wondering about that. Some of your other favorites, you have a pole bean.
Well, there's Landreth stringless bean. All beans are great when they're little, but when you don't pick them and they get big, they get stringy. Landreth stringless doesn't. It's from 1885. If a bean's been around since 1885,
Probably pretty good.
yeah, it's going to be a great one.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the lettuce leaf basil.
Okay, look at the size of this basil. The basil is the size of your hand. Again, all you need to know about that one is, basil's the reason we garden, because fresh basil, that's the only way to eat it. Goat cheese, pine nuts, roll up that giant leaf of basil.
Just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
yeah,
a little
yeah.
slice of lasagna or
yeah.
heaven, depending.
Oh, the smell of basil in the summer, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, thank you so much. And you can come see Doug Oster here at the Home and Garden Show on stage in the Garden Pavilion area. He's there tonight at 5 and 7, then Friday through Sunday. Look for the full schedule on his blog. You'll find that link at kdka.com/PTL.